Some people have been asking me about a condition I have. I go to CrossFit here locally, and every now and then I'll have an episode of it. It's called Supraventricular Tachycardia. It's a condition where kind of just out of nowhere, your heart will just start racing for no reason. Sometimes it's a thought, sometimes you bend over the wrong way. Just depends. But anyway, I've had it since I was 19, which was a while ago. And I've learned a lot about it since I've started getting it. So I figured I would share, since people who find out that I have it and similarly suffer with it are always looking for clues and answers and whatever. Sorry, I'm kind of watching my kids on the golf course. Anyway, I'll just start. The condition is sometimes referred to as SVT, supraventricular tachycardia. It's, your heart just starts racing out of nowhere. If you have it, sometimes you get low blood pressure, and it's just, it seems kind of ominous at first because you can kind of sort of feel it. You feel tight. Sometimes you feel like congestive heart failure. A lot goes through your head. You don't know if you're having a stroke, a heart attack, whatever. But this is not medical advice, by the way. This is just what my cardiologist told me and a little bit that I've learned as far as how to deal with it. You always will have a trigger. The thing that sets you off is an irregular heart rhythm. A lot of times you have an extra node or something in your upper part of your heart that, when triggered, will just set your heart into a crazy racing pace, 200, 250 beats per minute, just a ridiculous, scary amount. Doesn't scare me anymore, just because I know what it is and I know how to stop it. For the most part, usually I can get it stopped. But you always have a trigger. Something will trigger it. For me, my triggers are dehydration and monosodium glutamate, MSG. It's in almost every food. If you eat out, you eat it. If you eat out of a can, you eat it. If you eat out of a box, you eat it. If you eat Chinese, you eat it. There's not much food that it's not in. It has like 40 some different names. Yeast extract, you name it. You can look up the different names. Sometimes it's not even labeled. It'll be labeled as like natural flavor is a big one, because it is natural. A lot of times it comes from decaying fish, and it's a flavor enhancer. Makes stuff taste good, makes stuff addictive. Hold on. Valor, stop. Anyway, I find that most of the people that ask me how to control it can control it by controlling MSG in their food. It's a difficult process. It's almost impossible, but you can curb it to a certain degree and keep your heart rhythm under control. For instance, anything with cheese flavoring, definite MSG, unless it's like, even if it says natural cheese, it's still, I'm just saying, you can research how to, find MSG in your food on your own. But I guarantee if you suffer from SVT, that's a definite trigger. And MSG has a lot of other side effects too. 30% I think of people are, I don't want to say allergic to it, but react poorly to it. It can make you retain water, can make you have a heart attack. I remember growing up, I used to see people in Italian restaurants a lot, because Italian restaurants are notorious for MSG, that and Asian restaurants. I remember seeing 2 people in my lifetime drop dead after eating Italian and Asian food. And that's exactly what it is. You know, the MSG reacted. There was so much of it, their heart couldn't handle it, and they dropped dead. So it's just, I don't know why it's legal in the United States or anywhere really. If you don't know how to cook without MSG, you don't know how to cook. But anyway, it's just a shortcut for flavor, and it's addictive. It's in a lot of stuff. I have a medical marijuana card, and in the state of Florida here, they have these lozenges that help you sleep. It's a indica lozenge, and you take one, and man, you sleep like a baby, like so good. Well, I used them for about a month and a half, and I noticed that I was starting to get SVT symptoms, like really bad. I was starting to feel really tight. I was holding water, just literally just felt bad. And I couldn't figure out, I'd only done 2 different things. I had started taking those lozenges, and I had started taking a different protein powder. The protein powder was pretty transparent about what went in the powder itself. So it wasn't that, but I had to actually look up the lozenge ingredients, and because it was not on the bottle. It was a natural flavoring. So I wrote the company, never got an email back, but I've since stopped taking it, and I feel like $1 million again. I can get through my workouts. I can bend over without feeling like my head's gonna explode. My kidney function is normal. I've also been drinking a lot of water. If you have SVT, water is key. I'm talking about water. It may be some Gatorade, some electrolytes, but tea, I don't really react that poorly to coffee. Some people do, but just keep in mind, coffee is a diuretic, meaning that if you drink it, you will lose water. It will cause water to come out of your body. So drinking enough coffee can keep you constantly dehydrated, and don't count water, tea, anything like that as fluid intake. You need half your body weight in ounces, and I'm not just saying that to be smart or whatever. That's a baseline for anyone to get enough water in your system, especially if you have SVT. You have to stay hydrated. If you don't, you'll end up in the ER, you'll end up with in the hospital. It will be a mess. And I only know because I've lived it, for a lot of years. So if you can keep those 2 things under control, stay hydrated, avoid MSG, I think that would help probably 90% of you that are looking for this video and looking for answers. The good thing is that my cardiologist told me, and it could just be that it was my case, the kind that I had. I don't know. Like I said, this is not medical advice. You need to talk to your doctor about your specific condition. But my cardiologist said it's a pain, you hate it, it sucks, but it won't kill you. Other things will kill you, but SVT won't. Oh, good. Good job. Anyway, so I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'm pretty active on here. So anyway, and I feel bad for anybody with this, especially if they don't know what it is, and they don't know where to start to treat it. Because the treatment is, I think, frying the extra receptor in your heart, which sometimes works and sometimes leaves you with a pacemaker. So I figured I would give diet a try, and it's worked well for me so far. Every now and then, like I said, I'll try something new and it'll bite me in the butt. But for the most part, I've kept it under control. I'm very active. CrossFit 5 days a week. I can run, I can jump, I can, whatever. So anyway, it's not the end of the world. Sorry about the wind. Anyway, like I said, if you have any questions, just leave a comment. All right, talk to you later.